to find the ball. He didn't slow down. He didn't banana route it at all. And the only way you're going to catch that ball is if you take a perfect route and sprint the entire time while making the catch. So it was an outstanding play for sure.
Tigers win it by the final score of 10-1. Now get ready for the Dodgers, who are coming in for 3 games this weekend starting tomorrow night. But again, a well-played, well-pitched series against the Guardians. First of 10 meetings in 20 games. So the first 4 of those 10, 6 games left. And again, might be a good time to play the Guardians. But this is kind of what the Tigers have done against the Guardians. Outside of 2 starts from Kenta Maeda, where they've roughed him up, they've pitched this team. This is a top 3 offense all season. They've pitched against the Guardians extremely well.
Yeah, they understand each and every hitter in that entire lineup. They know how to attack weaknesses. They stick to their game plan. And until Cleveland adjusts to what the Tigers are doing, which is not letting them drive the ball early in the count because they're free swingers. They're making good enough pitches early in counts. They're getting soft contact early. When they get behind in the count, we're getting enough swing and miss. They're striking some guys out.
As you said, Ramirez is getting frustrated. Now, he had
was
some hits
so
in
frustrated.
this series, but it was a lot of on the ground, a lot of singles.
They were throwing him the fastball away, changeup away, and he kept pulling the ball on the ground to the right side. And then finally he made the adjustment, went left center, and Riley tracked it down. That's not fun as a hitter, right? They keep making those pitches over and over, and they're not making a lot of mistakes.
Tigers win 10-1. Now get ready for the Dodgers. Stay with us. Game recap next on the Detroit Tigers Radio Network.
We are Feiger Law, the official law firm of the Detroit Tigers. For over 70 years, Feiger Law has been your hometown team of trial lawyers for auto crashes, truck accidents, birth trauma, and injuries due to medical malpractice. Let our team of homegrown trial lawyers win big for you. Feiger Law, the official law firm of the Detroit Tigers. All we do is win.
All we do is win.
Play ball!
Meijer is the proud hometown partner of the Detroit Tigers, and we're cheering them on every game to a winning season. We're looking forward to more home runs, RBIs, shutouts, and new major league records. Home is where your team is, and our home is right here in Detroit, where the Tigers' roar never stops, and the 7th inning stretch means we're getting ready to pounce. Save and win with Meijer, proud hometown partner of the Detroit Tigers.
No matter what your sport, you win with energy efficiency tips from DTE. DTE's online interactive home can help you find tools, tips, and programs to lower your energy bill. Our Insight app gives you real-time information to make changes to reduce your usage. And our rebates put real money back into your pocket. So check out dteenergy.com/home and you'll savings, that is. DTE.
Are you ready? Ready to find the right care that works for you? Care that connects you to what you need, anytime, anywhere, and fits best with your lifestyle? Whether it's in person or in your pajamas, online or over the phone, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan connects you to the care you need when you need it most. With the largest network of doctors and hospitals, an easy-to-use mobile app, and a 24-hour nurse line. Because we're always ready to help. Learn more about Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan at bcbsm.com.
Game recap brought to you by your Metro Detroit Buick GMC dealers from the 1-800-CALL-SAM studios. Tigers and Guardians wrapping up their 4-game series. Tigers going for the series win with a win today. They come away with a big win. Jack Flaherty on the mound against Howard for the Guardians. Spencer Howard just picked up off waivers from San Francisco, has not had much success in the major leagues, and the Tigers made sure he didn't have much success today. In the first inning, Tigers scored a run on a Riley Green line drive single to right with 2 outs, scoring Wenzel Perez, who had singled and stolen second base. 2 runs in the second inning. Howard with location issues. Walked a couple of batters, including one with the bases loaded. Matt drilling an infield single. Fine diving stop by Schneemann at third, but he couldn't get the runner at third base. Tigers had a 3-0 lead. Tigers lead cut to 3-1 on a Bo Naylor home run, one of the few hard-hit balls that Flaherty allowed in this game today. Kelly with a home run in the third inning. That chased Howard, and then the Tigers just kept adding on. 2-run single for Green in the fourth inning, and then the capper on the day. Bases loaded double for Gio Urshela turned a 7-1 game into a 10-1 game, and the Tigers go on to the easy win. Impressive start for Flaherty today. Had not pitched in 2 weeks, got his second injection in his lower back, and he came out and was strong. Mixed his pitches beautifully all day. 1 run on 2 hits, the Bo Naylor home run in 6 innings. Just 83 pitches, great strike throwing, 2 walks, and 4 strikeouts. Jack Flaherty gets his 6th win of the year. Tigers have won 6 of their last 7, improved to 45-49 with the win. The Guardians fall to 57-35 with the loss. Tigers now get ready for 3 with the Dodgers starting on Friday night. Skubal will be on the mound. Tigers win at 10-1. Stay with us. Scoreboard next on the Detroit Tigers Radio Network.
The Make It Ford summer sales event is on, so make it your best summer ever with Ford. Now's the best time to get our best deal.
Pretty, UWM, and Little Caesars Pizza. Brought to you locally by Jack Demmer Ford, Northville Lumber, Jack Demmer Lincoln, McLaren Health, Metro Detroit Buick GMC dealers, and the Metro Detroit Chevrolet dealers.
This is the Detroit Tigers Radio Network. This Odyssey Sports broadcast has been presented by Health Markets. Shop for health insurance your way.
Thank you for the It's Tom drop. I do appreciate that. That's our latest little jewel.
I don't know why that's so funny.
Tigers, that's the best series they've played all year. Hell, you may have swept the Guardians if you didn't pitch Maeda. But there's a problem. I mean, I'm on a different planet than Andy Dirks. But what I heard at the end of the postgame there, they can play with anybody. It's going to be interesting. Hold on. Slow your roll. See, here's the issue. They win 7 of 8. And yet I'm more excited it was Flaherty pitching awesome today because I know I have to trade him. And if you're leaving the ballpark, I want your reaction because I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it because math is the name of the game in baseball. So if I'm going to invest, and let's say we view this as a turning point, they win 7 of 8. And you go, okay, we're playing really good ball. We're headed into the All-Star break. Dodgers are coming to town. No Glasnow, no Mookie Betts. They're still really good, but we're playing good. All right, fine. I'll live with that. You got 69 games left. You're going to have to get the better part of 90 wins. And I want to be fair, so I'll say 88. I'll just give away 2 games. 88 wins to make the wild card. If we were going to be real serious about this. 69 games left. You'd have to go minimum. What? 40 to get to 88? They would need 43 and 26. You think this team's going 17 games over 500 the rest of the way? That's just math. So I'm conflicted.
Not unless they're going to be buyers.
Microphone's not on.
Yeah, it is.
Now it is. David, I think David sabotaged you.
Okay.
He did. Okay, good. So I don't know what to do with him. Because, again, we're not far removed from losing 7 out of 10. I don't know. I'm happy they played well. I love the fact Flaherty pitched well because Lord knows that's your biggest trade chip. But, Rico, can you invest in it?
No.
Should people invest in it? What should the reaction be?
The reaction should be he should be on the blocks. He should be out there. And because coming off of this pitching, this outing today, his value's gone up because we were all questioning whether he was going to be damaged goods. In order for them to maintain the sustainability of what you said, of going 17 games above 500 to finish out the season, the only way you're going to do that is you're going to have to become a buyer, and I don't think that they're willing to do that either. So if that's the case, go ahead, sell that piece off. You can't make the same mistake you did last year. And just ride it out with a pitcher, hope for good things, and get nothing for him.
But if you're leaving the ballpark right now, you just saw a great game. You saw a great series. Offense scored some runs. I mean, I don't care Cleveland had a gas can on the mound. You had Maeda on the mound the other night. Turnabout's fair play. You lit Spencer Howard up. I had to Google who Spencer Howard was. The point is, I don't know what you can take out of it. 7 out of 8 in normal times, I'd be thrilled. But yet, I'm more excited. Flaherty, I thought, was great. Now, he didn't allow hard contact. There was only one real hard hit ball all day. The strikeouts weren't there, but he pitched really well. And it's like, knowing I have to get rid of him, Rico, that keeps me from being able to start plotting a course. Now, if you want to have the conversation of, all right, I don't want to sell. Next 20 days, how many games they got? 15? 14 games? I mean, you'd have to be the hottest team in baseball. You know, the Red Sox are 10 games over 500. Right behind them is Kansas City, and right behind them is Houston.
Yeah.
So you would need to be the hottest team. And again, I don't.
And see, the problem with that is now the All-Star break hurts you because when you're playing this great of baseball, you want to be out there every night.
Keep it rolling.
And now we got to come to a grinding halt. People will get refreshed, and we got to jumpstart this thing all over.
Especially Blue Jays coming to town, and they suck. I don't know. I would love to know what you guys think. It's a very weird feeling when your team wins and is getting hot, but you know the fire sale is coming. So I can be happy because Colt Keith just continues. Riley Green continue. They're murdering baseballs. And Flaherty, I said it, this is the biggest start of the Tiger season. He needed this one today and one after the All-Star break. And today he showed no ill effects. You know, guy with multiple injections in his back and has missed 2 weeks. He looked great.
Probably the most important start that he had this year because
100%.
you needed to know he was not damaged goods.
So how do you weigh it out, guys, as fans? Kenny called today a daiquiri day. Team wins 10-1. Cleveland's got a positional player out there pitching.
This is when you
daiquiri
see
day.
Hatless Kenny with the hair slicked back, sitting there with the Hawaiian shirt on.
And a daiquiri.
Yeah.
Blue and orange.
I've seen this before. He's a happy man.
But there's the thing. You can be happy and enjoy it. The problem is you can't deny reality. And I don't know what to do with it. Yeah. If you wanted to re-sign Flaherty, like if you showed me that they're like all of a sudden over the All-Star break, Jack Flaherty agreed to an extension, I could change my take. I could feel differently. Mize is coming off the IL, which means I'll never look at Maeda again. Super. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm openly asking fans how they're processing it. I don't know what to do because if they trade Jack Flaherty and then a contender takes Gio Urshela as depth and then they sell a bullpen. I mean, they don't have the if Kelly gets traded, right? Mm-hmm. Yankees need a catcher. Lord knows I'd take him.
No, here's what happens, Mike. There's so many different mindsets for the Tigers fans because you're going to have some, don't yell at me, who are living in the moment right now and are saying, you know what? This is the team that we thought they were going to be the entire year. They are red hot. We can do this thing. We can go on the streak. Why not? It's that why not us mentality. The only way this keeps rolling is that now you got to go in and you got to become a buyer and you're going to have to bring in pieces. You're going to have to bring in bats, everyday bats to this lineup, which is something that the team, Scott Harris, has not done all season long, which leads me to think, why would he do it now? Because what you're saying makes absolute sense. You have to go out there and put Flaherty out there on the market and hope that you can get a nice return back. But if you're a Tigers fan, you don't want to hear that right now because you're winning. But long-term success, I don't think he's part of it. This is your chance to capitalize on that and bring in some more pieces to this team and maybe, just maybe, bring in somebody who could add to that core that we keep hearing about.
Yeah, imagine if they'd done that in the offseason. All right, I'll leave it alone. 248-539-9797. And again, whether you're at the game or not, no problem. But if you're driving around, you sweep the Reds, you take 3 or 4 from the Guardians. I mean, that's a nice little stretch of baseball. But how are you supposed to feel about it, knowing that the most exciting thing today was Jack Flaherty's back and healthy, and I know I got to trade him in less than 3 weeks. What is the feeling here? And again, if you wanted the math on, I'm going to call my radio show that I love or I hate, but I listen to, and I'm going to say, I believe in this team, and we're going to go on a run. I'm not mad at you. You're welcome to believe whatever you want. Hell, the Diamondbacks were under 500 and went on a run. Fine. Here's the math. 69 games to go. It's going to take the better part of 90 to get in. Let's lower the total for sake of fun. 88 games. That to get that last wild card spot, you got to win 88 games. Guys, you'd have to go 43-26 the rest of the way. I don't believe you're capable of doing that in any way, shape, or form, especially if you sell.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can say is it goes back to that stat that Cookies hit us with.
What's that?
When you score 2 or more runs,
they're good.
You may be able to pull this off where you go, 40, what do you say, 43-26?
Yep.
Which means you need to bring in a bat. If you're serious about this.
Wyatt Langford. Excuse me.
You know what?
Come here.
You know what? You need a hug. You need a hug. But if you're
excuse me,
Max Clark, if you're serious about this, you got to bring in another bat because you don't have that. You don't have the sustainability to keep this going. You're hot.
I know.
Every team in baseball has a streak like this. If you want to be a
the
big
Angels
boy.
did. Remember when the Angels won like 8 out of 10, and you're like, and they kicked your ass. How is this happening? The Angels are right back to sucking.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but it's fun on a day like this. Is the thing, Rico, that kills me is no matter what side of the fence you're on, I don't care what battle lines get drawn. You want to be able to talk baseball on a summer day and go, hey, scoreboard watch time. See, we can't do that. Now, they win 7 of 8. It feels good in the moment. It's like an ice cream cone. I just don't know that it changes the picture for me. Now, if after the All-Star break, if they were somehow off of this, take 2 or 3 from the Dodgers this weekend, get back from the break, you're going to get the Jays, the Twins, and the Guardians, I believe. I believe that's the first 3 series after the break. If you somehow, over this course of time, became an above 500 team, then it becomes different because maybe you're only 5 out. But I don't know what to do because the pragmatic person in me still says I have to deal Jack Flaherty. If I get a call from a team that needs a catcher, I got to call up Dingler. I got to find out if the kid's any good. I want to know.
But right now you're stuck in purgatory because you're in that we're not totally garbage, but we're not a contender. So
right.
What do we do?
I don't think they're garbage. That's okay.
That's purgatory.
But that's when people wonder what is the source of my frustration or angst or spite. It's that they're not garbage. In fact,
you'd rather them be garbage,
right? Because it's emotionally easier to accept we're the Oakland A's. When a team has how long have we said they have playoff pitching? Nobody would want to play this team if they went to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That only makes me mad at Scott Harris.
Because you look at a series like this and you're saying this could have been a series somewhere in the AL. If you're playing the Guardians, you would have moved on. You're getting ready to go on to the next round. Why? Because you had pitching that got you there. Even when you went out there with Maeda, they almost covered that up.
Here's what the Tigers have the rest of July, and this could give you hope if you win each series here. At Toronto, at Cleveland, at home against Minnesota, and then you close out July with Cleveland here.
2 games.
So that could give you hope if you do what you're doing now and win each series. Now you're making up ground here.
But again, I'm asking, and I know I'm asking multiple questions, and that's the fun of it. But I'm not going to serve the poo-poo platter. They just took 3 or 4 from the Guardians. Good on you. Sweep the Reds. Same deal. I'm not going to knock a team for playing good ball, but I don't know what it means. And I know myself, I was excited Flaherty showed no ill effects. Not from a velocity standpoint. The slider looked great. He had, he wasn't rubbing his back. There was no weird pitch and a trip to the mound. He was great. And I'm excited because I know I have to get rid of him. That flies in the face of being able to be excited about 7 of 8. So I want to know how you guys are processing it. And I have listen, this is one where Kenny, I think, will win the day, Rico. If today's just a daiquiri day and you're not thinking about the deadline or any of it, respect. I understand that. I'm not mad at you. But we do a radio show. It's a little different. Kenny's not going to be like, guys, I saw 3 birds today. We got to offer you a little something more here. So let's get to the people. A lot of people want to talk, and I'm happy to do it. So what?
Nothing.
Guys, the cloud looks like boobs. Like, we have to offer you something different.
That wasn't something said today, was it?
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying I imagine Kenny staring up at the ballpark.
Okay. That's why I was laughing like, wait, was that actually
that
said
looks
today?
like Pam Anderson's ass. Like, it's just,
hey,
we have to have a topic.
You know what? All I got to say is bucket list item. I know you're
Pam
getting ready
Anderson's
to hit.
ass?
No.
Oh.
Yes.
You need to sit and watch a game with Kenny.
Oh, fun Kenny?
Oh, that is a bucket list item. I have a newfound respect. I mean, this man is a beautiful man at the ballpark.
The streets are talking. They know about Kenny Cott. I know. 248-539-9797. Let's get the show on the road. We'll get to you guys next. 97.1. All right, David, I'll go to the people. We'll get ticket text at 4:30. Tigers have won 7 of 8. Incredible series. It's the best they've played all year. But the question is how do you invest? How do you process it? I'm most excited that Flaherty pitched awesome, but that's only because I know I got to trade him. Well, that flies in the face of being able to think this could be a turning point. But if you wanted the turning point, I'm offering you mathematics on it. 90's probably what it's going to take, but I'll make it 88. I'll make it a little bit easier, and that way we can just move forward with a number. To get in, you need 88 wins, right? 69 games remaining. You will need to go 43-26. If you think they can do that, I need to know how, especially if I'm dealing Flaherty. Now, if you tell me I'm not trading Jack, I'll run the risk and I'll make a qualifying offer and I'll get a pick, you're welcome to that opinion. That's not how the game is played, but that's fine. But I want to know how you're processing it, especially if Kenny called it a daiquiri day. It was. The weather was beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
And you feel great. You hit the Guardians with a garbage can.
You were able to leave the park early if you wanted to, not worrying about them coming back. Oh, yeah. Go get something to eat.
Easy peasy. Let's go to Stan. We'll get things rolling today. Stanley, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, Mike, thank you so much for taking my call. Yeah, I am, I'm a partial season ticket holder. And you see, where I'm looking at right now is I'm not thinking about the past because it's gone, and I'm not worrying about the future. But I'm looking at right now, I'm a guy who likes to be in a pennant race in September. I didn't think this team was going to give me anything more than that. If it's me and if I'm Scott Harris, I would try to sign Flaherty to a deal long term, because going in, if you see, we're living in a world of if we're able to get into these series with Olsen, Flaherty, and Scoops, we got a shot. We got a puncher's shot. Mm-hmm. Now you look at the way that we're currently hitting, you say to yourself, we need a bat, like Rico said. Well, currently Green has a WRC plus of about 127. We have a guy coming off the injured list that has a WRC plus of 153.
Who's coming off the? Oh, yeah, but hold on. The last I read 2 days ago, Carpenter had no timetable for a return, and it just started working out.
But he's still. My point is that look at how they've evolved in the past month. We now have Wenzel Perez that we like. We like Veerley. We like Colt Keith. We like Green. We like Kelly. We like Jahan. We have hitters that, if I'm correct, your guy in the morning, Costa, said if we score one run, we'd win 100 games this year. So we do have to win 13 out of 20 games each slot, right? But the point is, for a guy like me that's lived through 7 years, knowing that they're not going to do anything earth-shattering because they're committed to the youth, I have faith that tomorrow I'm going to be excited, and I can't wait to get my popcorn out to have a scoop day. And so I'm excited, and that's all I look for from baseball.
No, and at least you're honest about it. Yeah. Stan, I don't have a problem because you're honest about it. But I don't live the way you do. No, I don't.
No, I know
just
you don't.
Ignore reality, be happy for today. I don't live that way. I know they got to trade Jack Flaherty.
I know.
But I'm fine. Now, he mentioned a couple players I don't like, but Stan was on a roll, and he's having a good time, and he enjoyed a daiquiri day. God bless.
The reason why Stan and people like Stan feel that way, Mike, is because you've had nothing really to cheer for. So if you go the way that you go, but you've already admitted you're maniacal when it comes, you want your teams to win at all costs.
Sure.
A lot of Tigers fans have been beaten into submission where you just ride the good times and you reflect back to the 06 series when you could have won it. That's where you are right now. That's what this team has done to you.
Okay. Well, then what happens?
I'm not saying it's
what happens if they trade Flaherty? What does that do to Stan?
Stan would be a little upset, but now
what happens if they trade Gio? What happens when they trade Kelly?
If you're bottoming out and you're just saying we're writing this season off, people like Stan will say, okay, well, hopefully I'll go down to the park on a good day and wins the Lions start.
Wow. What? I wish I had customers like that. Let me go to Steve, 97.1. Stevie, what's going on, buddy?
How you doing, Mike?
Good. What's on your mind?
Hey, so I want to buy. I mean, I hate saying it, and I know you're going to beat me up.
I'm not going to beat you up at all. You say whatever you like. I'm not mad at you.
So if you do sell Flaherty, you're going to sell him to a contender. So you're getting back prospects. I don't want that. I want to win now. So what I want to do is you sell either Jackson Jobe, Jung, or any of these young kids, and you go out and get Luis Roberts, or you go out and get a Guerrero or a Bichette, and you make this offense scoring 3, 4, 5 runs, and you let Scooble, Flaherty, and Olsen do some work. You get into the postseason, and oh my gosh, you never know.
No, I'll tell you right now. I mean, Steve, we had this conversation, and forgive me, I can't name the exact day, but it was the last time they were 3-4 games under 500. They might have been 2 or 3 games under. And Kenny and I brought up Toronto and Bichette and Guerrero and how they're probably selling. And I said, look, what if this was the fix to the Baez situation, where it's you're buying, but you're buying long term because each guy is signed through next season. Steve, every time I feel like we get to this point and we talk about stuff like that, then they lose 6 out of 8. And it's like, oh, geez, now we look stupid again. I'm not mad at you for feeling that way. If they were buying a player that had some term and was going to be a cornerstone, I wouldn't argue with you. I wouldn't, because I need to add things to the mix. So I'm not mad at the idea, Steve, but they got to be a signed guy.
I mean, we're tired of waiting here.
I know I am.
You go and get these prospects. We're waiting for 27 for Max Clark and all these other guys to come up. Scooble is the best pitcher in the AL, and you got Riley Green, who is playing top-notch baseball right now. Cole Keith's on the up and up. Trade Torkelson, trade Jung, trade Jobe.
I'll tell you what would look great here. And it would look incredible. You want a player that would look amazing? Wyatt Langford.
Okay, Steve.
Oh, you got to give up on that, man.
I know. I can't. I know, Steve. I'm hurting and I'm projecting, and I'm sorry.
He's not.
It's my fault, Steve.
He's like an addict when it comes to that. But Steve, I am with you. If you're going to do this, you got to be serious. You got to go out there and you got to add a bat. You got to add something to this lineup if this is what you want to do.
Just understand.
I understand.
Everything he was asking for is Wyatt Langford.
Yeah.
Just throwing that out there.
I know. Because, yes, Langford would have probably gotten you at least 5 extra wins. And we are
leading off All-Star Riley Green. In the 2-hole, one of the hottest hitters in baseball, Cole Keith. In the 3 spot, Wyatt Langford. Daiquiri Day. All right, being number one's not easy.
You need a hug.
Takes years of experience, dedication, determination. Number one mattress purchased by millions every year is Serta. They got the experience with 111 years making the world's best mattresses. They are made right here in Michigan. In the hot summer days, you need a great night's rest on a cool, comfortable Serta mattress. Go to Serta.com. Find a retailer near you. That's Serta.com. All right. Lots of people who want to rap on Daiquiri Day. Tigers take 3 of 4 from the Guardians, 7 out of 8. They're red hot. But what does it mean? I don't know what to do with it. I was excited Jack Flaherty pitched great because the first thing I'm doing is trading him. But then there's the other side of it. Are you riding this wave? All right, if you want to think that way on a sunny Thursday in July, okay, here's the math. Let's say it'll take 88 wins to get in. You're going to have to go with 69 games left. You're going to have to go 43-26. Do you believe in your heart they can do that? Now, if you tell me they're not going to sell anything, and in fact, they're going to buy a player with term, Kenny threw out the Bo Bichette stuff or the Vladdy stuff, right? Each guy has term. Look, you guys can throw whatever ideas you want out. I'm offering you where we're at, and you tell me what you want to do with it. Or maybe you're like caller Stan. You're just enjoying a sunny day. You don't get to control your future. And when and if they sell, you're going to be heartbroken. I don't know. But if you want to be serious about it and make a run, my feeling is it's too little too late. But if they get red hot between now and the deadline, they could make that interesting. I don't know. I'm just glad I never have to look at Kenta Maeda again, so that's positive. David, the ticket text, and I'll go right back to the phones.
That definitely is a positive. Call it wishful thinking, but I'm hoping the Maeda move has woken them up. The bullpen has been sharp, Flaherty looked good, and the bats come alive. Minnesota started out with a bad record in the last couple of months. That's been about where they're at, 43-26. It doesn't seem undoable, Mike from Whitmore Lake.
Yeah, but Mike, do you have the team that they have? Also, just because someone else does it, you got to look in your own house. My fear is, okay, let's say you invest. Let's say you really buy in. If they trade Flaherty and Urshela and Kelly, where's 43-26 coming from? See, that's where I'm fascinated what they do between now and the deadline. If they can, look, Dodgers are here this week. There's no Mookie Betts, and there's no Tyler Glasnow. Could you take 2 of 3? Go in on a high? I don't know. Be 3 games under 500. Basically get back to where you were, end of May?
Yes.
Does that sound about right?
Yes.
And then you have the All-Star break, and you're going to have, David, how many games between now and the deadline after the All-Star break? What, about 9 games? I believe they're playing the Royals as the trade deadline hits.
Correct.
How many games?
That is August 1st, so they have 3 against. I'm sorry, stupid thing.
You're fine. I know the computer sucks. It's not on you.
I'm trying to get everything back that I had.
You're fine.
They have 3 against the
Blue Jays.
They got 4 against the Guardians at Cleveland.
Yes.
They have 3 at home against the Twins, and then they got 2
Cleveland.
against Cleveland at home.
Okay, so 12 games?
Correct.
Okay. In those 12 games, you would have to go, 9-3. You would have to be a 3 or 4 above a game above 500 team to even have a thought about not selling.
So basically, what we just saw for these last 8 games, you kind of have to have that happen
and look,
again.
when the Twins turned their season around, didn't they have like a 10-game win streak after being awful? Then they lost 7 in a row, and then they won like 9 of 11. I can't do it today. I'm not mad if people want to do it. It's just, I guess I'm so numb to it is I thought, wow, Flaherty pitched awesome. Great, I can trade him.
No,
That's
but
terrible.
It's not terrible, Mike. You're thinking pragmatic. It's smart. Because you're playing chess right now, and a lot of people don't. They play checkers, so they only look to the next move. You're looking 5-6 moves down the line. Both can be right. For the people who just want to enjoy the daiquiri, enjoy this win, enjoy this hot streak, I don't want to get rid of them. I want to keep experiencing days like that. That's fine, but it's short-term thinking. It's temporary thinking. By moving him and getting some extra piece and maybe getting another – David, cut his mic off. Get another piece to the core, a bat to the lineup that can help this team, then, yes, you're going to have to move some people along, and it means that this good time that you're feeling, it's fleeting.
I won't say his name.
No, you go ahead.
No. What if it was a guy whose name sounds like Byatt Dangford. Do you understand how frustrating, and not you, man, any human saying what you're saying?
You realize once again, I understand preaching to the choir, but why that was me for the Pistons.
Right.
Yes.
It's why it's so frustrating. Like, imagine if Wyatt Langford was here, it'd be much more believable.
This conversation is totally different, that we are now talking about who they should go out and add. Who should they target? Who should they...
Wait for it. Here it is. Lead off Riley Green. 2-hole Cole Keith.
So you're going to lead off with a green?
3-hole Wyatt Langford. Clean up Vladdy Guerrero. Vladito coming to town. Kenny.
Five spots Vierling.
Face of franchise, Matt Vierling.
Let me give you this.
Whoops.
Because I thought the deadline was August 1st. It is July 30th. 6 p.m. July 30th. So while you're in the middle of the last game against Cleveland.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's probably too little too late unless they catch fire like right now. I mean, if they can go out and win 9 of 11 after winning 7, you would have to do that in order to potentially shift course. But listen, if you're going to call up and say, I'm enjoying this daiquiri days and I want to buy at the deadline, understand, if you're buying a player with term, I don't disagree with you. Because what you're saying is, I'm adding to my core. Mm-hmm. I'm all aboard if that's what you want to do.
I will take it another step, Mike. But it's going to require some trust in Scott Harris. I would take a rental player, a bat, a hired hand, somebody that you know is going to help this team out, and you may not re-sign them.
What am I giving up?
But you're not giving up a ton of stuff, okay? You're not giving up a ton, but it's just
those deals, let me tell you something. Those are the ones, they give you bed bugs. 4 years later, and some all-star is killing you, and you're like, who the hell is this guy? Yeah, that's the guy you gave up to get Bubba Smith. I'm telling you, you're not wrong.
Right.
I just
no, because this is all. It's going to trigger Detroiters because they're going to think Doyle Alexander, and you gave up John Smoltz.
Man, if I got to let go of Wyatt Langford, don't they have to let go of Doyle Alexander, John Smoltz?
Yes,
they really do.
Just saying,
they do. But at the time, that deal helped out the team. Doyle Alexander came to Detroit and helped you get to the playoffs.
Chris, 97.1. Chris, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, man, sat front row, got to watch the whole thing. Beautiful day. Listen, Flaherty looks like he did year 2 with the Cardinals, year 3 with the Cardinals. He looked awesome. But let me ask you, coming off of all this all the questions around his back and everything like that, you're up 6-7, 8 runs. Why leave him into the 7th inning unless it is an audition? They want to move this guy.
I agree with you.
I don't know what they're going to do. You could go with a young arm. You could go with a late bat, all that kind of stuff, middle bat, whatever. Some guy who's got some promising stuff. But that was an audition. They had no reason to leave him in that late. And they did that mound visit in the 3rd, 4th inning after he gave up that ding-dong. After that mound visit, everything before that was low 90s. Everything after that was mid-90s. The guy was on audition. That's all I got to say.
No, Chris, I agree with you. And look, I have been resigned to having to trade him since, I don't know, once we knew the team wasn't very good. But when they're in this hot streak and you look at the differential between Skubal, Jack, and Reese Olson to not having Jack, that's a massive differential. And if people call up and are like, well, what if we keep him and we make him a qualifying offer? Hey, Chris, I'm trading him. I know that. Yep. But I want to leave the possibility open for people that if they don't want to do it, well, here's what you'd have to do to make your dreams come true.
When people show you who they are, believe them. That's what I've always something I've lived by. I'm just saying that this team is not a Flaherty. Okay, you keep Flaherty. You have this miraculous run to get to the postseason, then you win a wild card. For what? This team is not a Flaherty away from going deep.
No, but here, okay.
But Chris, here's the thing, though. I don't agree with that because if you make it to the playoffs, you have the pitching staff that could steal you some series. And if now all of a sudden the team gets hot like they are right now, and you may see yourself in the World Series. Baseball is that one like the sport, like you don't want to have the best record overall because that normally means you're not going to win anything.
No, and Chris, my point is, no, you're right. But tell me this, Chris, like you went to the game today. This is a franchise that hasn't made the playoffs in a decade. There is value to getting in. There is value to end. Like, what did I talk about all fall? If you don't want to hear about the Lions' history, then change it. Like, you got to win the division. You got to win playoff. Now no one will ever be able to say one playoff win since 1957. Mm-hmm. The Tigers eventually...
And look what happened after they got the 2 wins. Now people look at you as a totally different organization and franchise. With this Tiger team being so young, yeah, I do think that a wild card would help them out because now they know they've gotten a taste of it young, and they're going to want to get back there.
Okay, so Flaherty, you need 2 arms to win a series in the postseason.
Okay.
Do you think Flaherty is a 2 or a 3?
A 2. I think if he's and that's okay. I mean, you know what, Chris? How about this? It's not this undebatable thing. I just think when a guy has a K rate of basically 12, and he's able to give you a 6, that slider when it's right, the velocity's there. I think he's a 2. But if you don't, I'm not mad at you. It's debatable. But Scooble Flaherty, that sounds like 1-2 to me. I have less trust in Olsen. Flaherty at least has some pedigree. Flaherty has some big game experience.
Olsen just has bad luck.
Well,
his teammates hate him.
That's okay. 248-539.
They may not, but it just seems that way.
9797. We'll get more of your phone calls, though. Tigers are on fire here. So, and by the way, imagine what they'd be if they stopped pitching Maeda sooner.
All I got to say about that, buddy,
Pickford.
Mistakes were made. Mistakes were made.
We figured it out.
I think there's something going on in that room. There's a lot of, clearing of the throats.
Quiet.
Mistakes were made. Maeda's gone to the bullpen.
97-1.
We won't see him for a while.
Langford. All right, David, a couple of ticket texts. And I want to say for the record, some breaking news. Tigers are on fire. And Kenny actually passed it along to the guys. So if you are caller Marcus, who wanted Kenny to pass it on, Kenny actually did.
But he really?
A guy named Marcus called up. He didn't have time to stick around. And he
Marcus,
said,
this is historic. I want you to know that.
He goes, why can't we be the one to be the team to rip somebody off? Why can we never be on the winning side of trades with this idea of whether you traded Flaherty or Scheller, you trade these guys, but somehow through some big brain Ivy League mysticism,
you find a guy whose name rhymes with Dax Clark.
Or you pull a trade where you go, wait, I got that guy and gave up what?
You find your Wyatt Langford off another organization.
Oh, say it for the people in the back. So Kenny did pass it on. David, some ticket text, though, as we try
But that
to
would require a lot of faith in Scott Harris.
But faith is all we have, because reality is if you don't trust him or you don't think anything of him, then you can't root for your team. My angst is that I think he is a smart guy and there were moves that could have been made and he made the wrong one. But I can't not believe that he can't do his job.
And see, people got angry at me even last year when he blew the Erod thing. I wanted to give him half credit because it looked as if he were going to bring back a haul that we kind of want to get for Scooble now. It's just you didn't dot all the I's and cross all the T's, and now you left with nothing. But he went for it. They were going to bring back players that were going to help this team out from the Dodgers organization, and it just didn't work out that way. Go ahead, David.
This could be a game, or the Tigers could be a game under 500 at the deadline with the bats coming to life. Could be a whole new season. Someone else says, you trade him if you can't succeed at a serious attempt at signing Flaherty. But stick with rooting for the Tigers. They are a better team than the Guardians, and they showed it.
No, they did not. And you're on crack. And I need you to go to the clinic. You're not a better team than Cleveland. Please stop. Please, I need you to go to Passages Malibu. They're like 25 games over 500. Baseball, yes, you took a series. Please stop. I need you to take the rock out of the spoon, put it back in the plastic bag, put down the lighter. You're not Tony Bowles. Please stop. It's July. I'm not going to get angry at people, but don't come in here with that crackhead stuff. Cut it out.
What if they went with crack zero?
Crack clear.
Right.
Remember the clear Pepsi?
Right. Like it's like all
I'm
the
just
things
saying,
of crack, but
come on, man. Team with
no
the best
calories.
record in the AL, and you take 3 or 4, and they put out a gas can today. I had to look up who they put on the mound.
What you're looking at, that person probably had the daiquiri, went to the game, feeling good,
or some black tar heroin.
Let's just go with a daiquiri. They're feeling good about their team, saying, "What's so tough about them?"
Feel good. Crack is whack.
I understand.
All right, David, go ahead.
Crack is whack.
I'm just saying. Dare.
Mortimer, sell.
Get those machines back on.
I know. But when you've won 7 of 8, and Flaherty looked great today, and it is hard to have that reaction. You got to be kind of a cold-hearted bastard like myself. But, even I am leaving open the possibility if you guys wanted to move forward, I gave you the math on it. But do I think you're selling? Yes. Which makes this all the more frustrating because it's too little too late then.
Nick in the Brown Truck says, best case, Flaherty killed it today, has a great next few starts, and Scooble dominates the Dodgers Friday, making them want to trade the farm for both of them when they play the Phillies for the NLCS.
Yeah, I know. Let's go to the people, see what they got to say. A lot of people are ready to talk about it. I'm happy to because I love talking baseball, and it's got to be more than just bitching about Baez. That's why I told you, not fighting with you in July. I'm not doing Scooble radio. I'm not doing Baez radio. Now, we did Maeda radio this week. We had to. But they listened.
They did.
They listened. I said, throw him in the pen. Let him be whatever that garbage the Guardians threw out today.
I think you said launch him to the sun.
Gas prices are high. Go to Zach, 97.1. Zach, what's going on, buddy?
Hey, guys. How you doing? I'm Born and raised in Michigan. I live in Cincinnati now. I listen to you guys every day on Odyssey. I love the show.
Well, thank you, brother. Welcome. What's going on?
So I agree a little bit with what some of the callers are saying. I think it's time for Chris Illich to finally just step up to the plate here, so to speak. I'm all for signing Jack Flaherty at 3 at 54. If you think that's a ridiculous number, feel free to tell me.
No.
But I think 3 at 54 is a good extension for Flaherty, maybe an opt-out in there somewhere.
If I represented Jack Flaherty, I would need something with a 2 in front of it. So I would need
Fair.
20 a year. And again, I'm spitballing, but I'm not mad at where you're at with this, Zach. If you tell me, look, this guy's found his career here, he's got a great relationship going on, and we got a meltdown.
Traffic meltdown.
It's all right, Zach. You handle it. Hold on a second. I'll take care of
some fast food.
Hold on. It's going to be all right, Zach. No, traffic gets terrible down there near the bridge where the Bengals play. When I'm driving down to Kentucky, oh, my God. It's down by that Job Corps building on the right. It's a nightmare down there, Rico. I don't know how Burrow goes to work. But no, Zach's not wrong. He's not. The idea is, okay, why do I have to sell this guy? Why don't I just try to sign him? Jack, do you like it here? Do you want to be here? I can't kill Zach for. No. And again, if Zach's right, and Zach, let's say you sign Flaherty, then I can get aboard this and go, okay, here's the math. Here's what we got to do to make a run.
But see, I think it goes to what we said about Schoolboy. Show me the initiative. Go out there and say,
all right, Zach,
let's get this taken care of.
I got to go, Zach.
Let's get this taken care of now.
Let's not wait to the end of the skyline.
No, that's awful.
Isn't that stuff terrible? How does anyone like it?
You know what? I guess it's one of those things. If you're from there, it's how they talk about we love Coney's here and nobody else does.
First of all, they have no right to speak about us. They live in Ohio. Second of all, they put cinnamon in their chili.
It's sweet.
It's disgusting. It's a crime.
Yeah.
Third, you know what?
No, you can just stop at sweet chili.
Yeah, I got a story for you about it.
Yeah.
Now, a buddy of mine coming home from the Derby one year decided he wanted that crap. I go, you can miss me with that. Let's just say we needed a couple of stops on the way.
Long ride home.
And we'll leave it. Yeah.
Oh, no.
I told him, you're not going in my truck, so I'd rather pull over than, we're not going to have a crime scene in here. Tough. Well, he decided to get it where they put it on the pasta, but then there's all this, I don't know, a chili discharge, right? It was like, there was like the chili, then the pasta, and then it was steeping in like discharge water. It was...
That's enough. That's enough.
Then they don't melt the cheese. It's just raw shreds.
Right. It's the cold cheese. We couldn't come up with a better term than that.
What?
Come on, man. Use your words.
What?
Discharge.
It was like. It was like.
Use your words.
I did. It was like the chili.
Okay, right now, the dean of the journalism school is not happy with you.
The chili bled out. I don't know. And I blame Zach's kid. That's really what it's about.
Come up with something.
And I'm telling you, that traffic down there, they got to do something around Cincinnati. It's unbelievable.
Is it worse than the 9-4?
Worse. Worse than the split? Are they going?
I don't do.
Worse than the Novi split 696.
Right now?
Worse. Cincinnati, get your act together. If I were Burrow, I'd leave today. 248-539-9797. Tons of people want to talk. We're here for it. We'll reset everything next. 97.1. 5 o'clock. It's a daiquiri day. Kenny Cott has coined it. So we're trying to figure out how to handle the Tigers winning 7 out of 8. And look, some of it is very meaningful. Look, Riley Green, re-engaging after a slump and becoming one of the best players in the AL here. Hitting. Huge. Colt Keith, one of the hottest hitters in baseball. It's huge. That stuff, I can buy into that. That matters to me. Jack Flaherty coming back healthy today and pitching really well. Great. There's one problem in all of this. Doesn't it all still lead to a fire sale because you're still 7 games out of the wild card and you're still 4 games under 500? So we asked the question, whether you were leaving the ballpark on a daiquiri day, 10-1, you could have left the game early. You could have done what Kenny does. He sits on Tinder all day at the games. The point I'm making, I made that up. I'm kidding. I was making sure you were paying attention. I don't want to get you in trouble. I was kidding. That was completely made up. The point is, today was easy and fun and great, and you take 3 of 4 from the Guardians. But what does it mean? Now, if you're buying in, here's the math. 69 games left. You would need minimum 88 wins. I think it's probably going to be 90, but let's say 88 for fun. You would need to go right now from point forward 43-26. How do you get there? Or are you like a couple callers who have called in and said, look, I know there are no great shakes. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be sad. I just wanted my daiquiri. Where are you in this? I mean, for me, sadly, yeah, I know. I still got to trade Flaherty. But if you read a report that they were in talks to extend Flaherty, or if you saw something where Jack Flaherty says, I want to be a Tiger, I love it here, I could flip my opinion on a dime. Because then you're telling me we're building something. If you want to buy Rico wants to buy.
Well, all things being equal, because if they score 2 or more runs, that's the record that you're looking for. So you need another bat in this lineup, somebody consistent. So if you're going to do this, let's not just rely on the kids and the people that you have now. Go out, be aggressive, and I don't care even if it's just a rental player, so long as you don't give up a bunch, because I do think if you make the playoffs, the experience will be worth the price.
And I say if you want to buy a player who has term, who becomes a part of your core.
Great. That's great, too.
Right. It becomes Green, Keith, and Guy I just acquired. I'm not going to laugh at people. So tell me where you're at with it. 248-539-9797. It's best week of Tiger baseball we've seen all year. Best series. Now, I admit I had to Google who the hell the Guardians put out there today. Spencer Howard. They may as well have thrown Spencer Dinwiddie. This guy blows. I said yesterday Maeda was the worst pitcher in baseball, and then I got to look at this pile. Unbelievable.
That's the guy somebody released and they picked him up.
He was a Phillies draft bust, and then he was a reliever, and then the Guardians thought they could, do the voodoo they do with pitchers. They put him out there today. Rico, he'd either throw a perfect fastball on the black or it'd be 18 feet outside. He was on like 60 pitches midway through the first. It was unbelievable.
He wasn't missing by inches. He was missing by feet.
He was Charlie Sheen without glasses in Major League.
Basically, you just wait. If he throws a strike, swing. If he doesn't, just
But in the end, it's like you threw my 8 out there.
Javi,
Turnabout's fair play.
Javi, do not swing.
Uh-oh.
Do not swing.
248-539-9797. Are you resigned that you can't get involved winning 7 out of 8 and the team's hot and you know you got to trade Flaherty? Are you just daiquiri day? Or are you just a pragmatist? Like, you know you got to deal. You know they're fire sailing, so you can't allow yourself to get hurt. Which of those 3 silos are you in? Let's go to the people, see what they have to say about it. We'll go to Tony, 97.1. Tone, how you doing, buddy?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good, Tone. What's on your mind?
So, I think there's like a difference of multiple different looks you could take with this, because if you do believe we could pull the miracle of 43-26 or better than that, which that's saying you're winning 2 out of every 3, which is not unbearable, but reality is that we still got a long schedule. I mean, you got a good chunk of July, August, September. So I don't know if I necessarily see it going in the direction of us going to win that way, especially when we have so many young kids. thing is that you go ahead and trade Flaherty, you go ahead and trade Gio, you go ahead and trade whoever you can. What are you looking to receive in return for? Are you looking to get a player that's ready now? Are you looking to get prospects? Like, what are you looking at for that? That's my big question.
Are you asking me? Or are you asking like me as Scott Harris? I just want to be clear so I know how to answer your question.
I already know that if it was answering as you, we're gonna gut it and we're gonna get the best that we can get and try to win as best as we can.
Yeah.
Scott Harris, what do you think the realistic ask for is from him from this point? Because I'm all on board. I mean, I agree with the 3 for 54 if you could get Flaherty at that, but. I understand pitching is the hardest thing to develop in the majors, but you get prospects. They land at a 30% success rate.
I agree totally.
What are we looking to get here? Are we looking to rebuild?
But Tony,
are we looking to rebuild, or are we looking to get a?
Well, I think you're rebuilding. No, I think you're rebuilding. And listen, I mean, Tony.
Okay.
And no, and understand. I don't want Rico to buzz me on this. I'm not bringing it up. I don't care about being right. It doesn't matter to me. I want to entertain people and I want to win. That's it. Tone.
Oh, for sure.
Part of the reason I wanted bats in the offseason was so we didn't end up in this spot.
Yep.
We don't have enough prospects.
Well, I agree.
I think you got a couple gems, right? Like Jackson Jobe is a gem. We think 3 years from now, Max Clark might be. But you need, to your point, Tony, which is spot on, you need several gems because of the bust rate.
For sure. And that's the scary part as a Tigers fan. It's realistic because I'll tell you what, one of the highlights of my life is being at Game 2 of the World Series in 2006 when Kenny Rogers took the mound. Greatest experience ever. I love that. Getting to watch a World Series win was a great feeling.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing that I take away from this is because we've been season ticket holders in our family for a while.
Yep.
My look at it is, you got to do one of two things here. We're getting rid of guys that we know. I hate to say it. If we don't look at we're winning the World Series this year or next year, we got to implode and we got to rebuild as best we can because we still got youth on the roster that we can develop and win with them by age 28, and 29 at the latest.
And that's part of why, look, and I'm not, believe me, I told you, I retired this in mid-June. I'm not interested in the Skubal stuff because they're not going to trade him. And I'm not committed to trading him. I would if I got the right offer. What you said is why I thought Scott Harris made a terrible error in the offseason. Because you need eventually to get good. And Skubal's window, 2 more years here, I need to win. I need to show him I can win. Otherwise, it's Felix Hernandez on the Mariners for a lot of his career.
Good call.
So Rico, it's like we love watching him, but what does it result in? So for his
winning
point,
a Cy Young with 10 wins.
Right. Like, so Tony's point would be, okay, I like Jack Flaherty. I don't want to trade Jack Flaherty. Then the organization has to make a decision on, all right, Jack, do you like it here? Here's what the open market's going to pay. I want you here. Do you want to be here? I'm not mad if a fan calls up and says, don't trade Jack Flaherty, sign him. I'm not mad at that. I'm not pounding the table, this is what I need. I pounded the table for Wyatt Langford. Rest in peace. I'm letting it go. I just would like to know their timetable. And again, it's not about August and September. It's about the next 3 weeks because that's when the deadline is. You have to make a decision. So the 7 out of 8 doesn't alter anything. But what if it's, I don't know, Rico, what if it's 15 out of 20? And you're over 500. And you're 3.5 games out of the wild card. See, that's why it's a beautiful radio topic.
No, it is.
It's a daiquiri day.
There's no right answer. It really is. This is where if you're Scott Harris, you got to decide, what do you want to be? What do you want to be when you grow up? Are you still waiting, or do you realize you're there, it's obtainable, and you got to make moves in order to solidify that spot? Or you're just going to wait and hope that luck falls your way and you trip and fall into that. That's not how sports works. So, yes, you're right. It really boils down to, what do the Tigers want to be? Do they want to act grown up, or do they want to still act like children and wait for the kids?
Right, and when you're winning 7 of 8, and some of the kids are powering it, Riley Green, Colt Keith, a little bit of Wensil Perez, I can take satisfaction in that, but knowing the guy who was on the mound today probably won't be here, that deflates the balloon of optimism.
Right. So if that's
For me.
or maybe you come out and say, you know what, go ahead and sign you right now. Let's work a deal out.
And again, does that happen a lot? No. Could they approach him in the offseason? Could they qualify offer, make sure to get the compensation? They could do all those things. But for the sake of radio, and so we don't get into the minutia of baseball's incredible CBA.
Or just at least, like, nobody thought E-Rob was coming back. Oh, there's a chance. No, there's not. Okay, you're leaving on the first thing smoking.
Like, look, I'll give you an example. I certainly don't speak as a representative of the New York Yankees, but I don't know if you're aware of this. We've had a little bit of trouble pitching.
You know what? I have avoided that topic for your sanity.
I would give a lot of things in the Yankee system for Jack Flaherty because he can go out, he can give me 6 innings, high K rate, which is very important in that stadium. And like I said, he's been through some of the wars. I would give you something I think you'd be happy with for Jack Flaherty. Again, I don't represent the Yankees. Kind of.
You do.
But that's my point. Someone I think will offer you something nice. No, I don't think it's going to be someone that 10 minutes later is batting cleanup for you. But
is it somebody who could become a part of the core that we've been waiting for?
It has to be. Anything Scott Harris does moving forward. Look, that's the other thing is like I want to be able to say nice things about Scott Harris. Well, he needs to start doing smart things.
Exactly.
Like you can't have 2 years, $26 million, Kenta Maeda jettisoned to the bullpen. You can't have $12.5 million of nothing burger, a.k.a. Mark Canha. Like, I need you to start being better at your job. And the Clark and McGonigal thing is smart on paper, but the actuality of it is years from us being able to determine it.
It bought him time.
Wyatt.
Except for your boy all of a sudden went out there and made him look bad. You know what?
We got to get a filter or something in there, man.
Langford. Almonds. Sorry. David, imagine Colt Keith and Wyatt Langford riding a tandem bike to Comerica every day. They could be besties. You'd have a 1, 2, 3 in your order of guys who probably are going to be 850 OPS guys. Man.
Let me help you out here with this, buddy.
Let me tell you about my best friend. No, instead.
I know.
Okay, why don't you tell the people about something? We'll get more of the phone calls, more of the ticket texts, and just for sanity, I want to make sure we give people some football at 5:30. Okay. Fair? 97.1. All
right. See, Mike is judging a certain person who runs the Tigers right now because he didn't get Mike's guy. Planet Fitness is judgment-free. Home of the judgment-free zone, or anybody. I mean anybody, including you driving in the car. You can feel comfortable and work on your fitness goals. Planet Fitness is there to help you build a lasting and active lifestyle. And now through July 18th, all you need to do is walk in there. $1 down gets your membership at Planet Fitness started. There are over 50 Planet Fitness locations throughout the Metro Detroit area, thousands across the country and worldwide. But there's over 50. So there's a Planet Fitness nearby. And a lot of the new buildings have brand new strength training equipment or cardio equipment. You need to go and check them out. $1 down gets you in the door. After that, it's $15 a month. And if you're short on time, don't even worry about it. You can get a full body workout in just 30 minutes with the Planet Fitness 30-minute circuit. You get all of that. Seriously, $1 down now through July 18th. Planet Fitness. And they also have free fitness training, equipment for every workout, and it's never intimidating. Join today and get energized.
Hadn't played that yet today. Sorry, had to keep the streak going. All right. We'll get with the people in a second. We'll get a little football to you at 5:30 if you're just hopping in the car. Tigers are white hot, 7 of 8. They take 3 of 4 from the Guardians. God help you if you didn't pitch Maeda. It might have been a sweep. But what does it mean to you? Are you on board? Is this a turning point? Are you resigned that they're going to be sellers, that Jack Flaherty's performance today only enhances his value? I can tell you as a Yankee fan, I'd be on the phone. We're dying for pitching. I'd overpay for Flaherty. I do not represent the New York Yankees. I'm just saying. Or is it daiquiri days? It doesn't mean one way or the other. You just want to enjoy today. You don't want any investment in this. It's just a chance to enjoy the weather. They're not going to win the World Series. You do what you want with it. But to be clear, I don't think people are wrong if they say I don't want to trade Flaherty. I want to sign him. Okay. I want to be a buyer. My only caveat, it would have to be a player with term, which would be very expensive. But if Scott Harris found a guy that he wanted as a cornerstone to expedite this rebuild and compete on the fly, I'm not going to laugh at you if you call in. I don't think this is worth getting angry over. I know I would probably sell because the math on making the playoffs, you're probably going to have to go 43-26 the rest of the way. And I just, no disrespect, I don't think you're capable of that. So that's where we're at. David, a couple of texts. We'll go to the phone.
You could be capable of that, but you're just going to have to score 2 or more runs.
Oh, okay. Oh, the cookie stack.
Yeah, I mean, it's there. The formula's there. It's not like you got to recreate. You just have to go out there and be able to score runs like you did today. Can you get to 3-4 runs daily? Yeah, you may need to bring in a bat. So if you're very serious, instead of selling, you got to go out there and bring in something that can help you right now. And I would even go with a short-term guy, a rental player, just to get their playoff experience. Go ahead, David.
Joel in Purgatory writes, why can't we do both? Get hot and still trade. A 20-game hot streak is not going to change the stripes on these Tigers.
You can do whatever you like. That's why the topic is fun.
Need to win 12, the next 15, otherwise we must sell. When the Tigers play like they have the last 5 games, I feel like the Tigers are all ready to take a stand for next year. Sign the pitchers we have and add a couple new bats, and let's go for it. Hate to play the what-if game, but they should be on a 7-game winning streak if you pitched anyone other than Maeda.
You want to play a really fun what-if game? It kind of hurts, though. Like, do you want to play a what-if game? What if you had taken Wyatt Langford?
Just walked right into that.
This is the text fault, and I read it. I'm so sorry, Rico.
Woo! That's it. I'm good.
You know what, David?
I'm good.
That's one.
Okay.
Oh, man. From Max, he says, at first, 43-26 sounded outrageous. But then I remembered the number that Costa and Mike were talking about were similar to that. If he hits, keep coming, I'm in. 2 runs don't sound so hard.
Yeah, I mean, and again, we just talked about it. It's why Rico and I have been so frustrated because the pitching is good. The pen, yes, there's been ups and downs, but overall, it's been good. The complete whiff in the offseason on offense is what's keeping you from being essentially the Red Sox. I think that's okay to be upset about that, but apparently I'm mean. I want more daiquiri days. That's it.
Sign Flaherty if you can, otherwise sell him. Sign Scooble if you can't, keep him. Buy a hitter for prospects if you can sign Flaherty. Hope that Carpenter comes back hot.
Yeah, I need to see a timetable on return. And if one has come out in the last 24 hours and I missed it, shame on me. I just know there's no timetable. I know he started working out, but that's a long way from, hey, he's back in the lineup, back in cleanup. All right, let's get to the people, shall we? Let's go to Ed, 97.1. Eddie, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
How are you?
Long time, no time.
What's going on?
But why are you Matt Stafford supporters so distant on, well, it's the other 53 guys on the team? I'm not understanding this because, I don't think Maeda signed a contract saying, well, I'm going to pitch for minor league players. When he's the only major league player out there, well, it's kind of hard. He can't do it all by himself. He can't field and pitch all at the same time.
Ed, I'm not trying to be dismissive, but Maeda sucks. Have a good day. I can't make. Might be the same guy. Maeda's terrible. I'm not going to run some defense thing, and I don't know what this Stafford defender routine is.
You know what, Kenny? You got one.
That's one. That's one. That's one.
Zachary Day, you can't give me one.
It's just happened.
Wait, do Stafford? Wait, Stafford?
I don't listen. I ended the call quickly. If he was trying to defend Maeda, I'm not interested. Maeda's a very nice man. I'm not interested. He's terrible.
Really, so he was saying we were too hard on Maeda?
Correct. And he doesn't field the ball, and I'm like, right, and I don't talk to you on the phone. Let's go to Brendan, 97.1. Brendan, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, guys, how you doing? I was at the game today. Just wanted to call in. Feel like, obviously, the right thing probably to do is to sell at the deadline, but my issue with it here is I want to get guys back that are going to make an impact right away. Like, if we wait another 5 years, it feels like we're just starting this whole rebuild process over again, and we're 15 years in at that point.
Right.
To get younger guys coming back. That's my issue with selling at the deadline, is if you do sell, you got to get the right guys back.
Agree.
And I don't know if Harris is that guy.
Well, see, okay. Now, Brendan, here's the interesting part is he's got to show us he's the right guy, and the only way to do that is by making shrewd moves. We need to be the team that rips somebody off once in a while. Like I got to see more of it. And I don't know what to do, Brendan, because if you're paralyzed with fear that he's not the guy, then you're never going to get better. He's got to, and to Rico's point, I mean, Brendan, look, as I've ridden this Wyatt Langford thing into the ground because it causes me pain. Rico is with the Erod thing. You can't have another trade deadline like that. So if he trades Flaherty, you're right. Brendan, I want to be able to pull up an article that says, Tigers completely take advantage of scumbag team, win Flaherty trade. I need that.
Right, absolutely. And I think my other issue with it is, too, kind of going off the last part I said, we need a guy that, impacts now, or else it feels like, not necessarily this year, but we'll be up with the club next year making an impact. Or else it's like, well, geez, we're waiting 4 years again just to see what this guy can do. And who knows what it'll be.
Exactly. No, Brendan, I'm with you. And look, I will take calls like yours in continuum because it's based in you want to win. We all want the same thing. And when they win 7 of 8, I want to be able to be incredibly happy about it. But I found myself heavily conflicted today because I was happier that Flaherty pitched well because I know I'm trading him. And I'm like, God, that sucks.
And by the way, hey, and Tigers won 10-1.
Right. And it was all about, Jack's spine didn't fall out of his body. All right. We're good. And then I'm like, I don't get to be happy about 10-1 or winning 7 of 8. That's what
you can be happy.
What makes a good topic.
You could be happy.
You need to replace your roof this summer. It's a little more complex than you may think. That's why Victor's Roofing is the contractor you need to call. They won't skip over steps like other people do, which a lot skip over the whole attic ventilation routine. You mess that up and you put a new roof on, mold, wood rot, complete disaster. Victor's, it starts there. They have a complete plan for ventilation before they start your roof. That way, once you put that roof on, you will have no problem. They install to the level of perfection, period. That's why when they install a new roof, they put a 50-year leak-free guarantee on every one of them. It's Victor's Home Solutions. Get that free roof inspection and estimate today, 734-773-1100, or book the appointment online anytime at victors.com. 5:30. Tigers have won 7 of 8. It's daiquiri day. It's sunny and 85. I'm alive in a big double at Saratoga. It really doesn't get better, except it does. David has fashion glasses and football. Music. Yes. There they are. And I don't care what Kenny said earlier. They're not Dahmer glasses. You look beautiful.
Dahmer glasses.
He called them Jeffrey Dahmer glasses earlier. I think David's glasses are very nice.
Yes, he did. Watch out, people.
I thought he looked great.
Yeah. They're an upgrade. I like these glasses better than the other ones.
Must have missed where Kenny was some kind of fashion icon.
Fashionista.
All right, so let's get to this here because it was a list of 20 of the most anticipated games coming into the college football season. So we've talked about many of these, but some of these, I don't understand why they're on the list. So let's talk about them. Texas versus Texas A&M, November 30th. By then, Texas A&M won't be anything.
No. You have to understand, this is Michigan State, but worse. These are one team got so sick of the other, they left.
They left the conference.
One team created their own TV network.
Right.
It was just chaos.
And think
now
about
they're
this.
together again.
Right. Everybody was happy to see Texas. Oh, they're going to the SEC, except for A&M was like, we just left you. We just divorced. What do you mean you're now our next door neighbor? So that's hatred, David. So even if it's either both teams are out of it, you still can expect a good game.
Rivalry game back together again. Notre Dame versus USC, same day, November 30th. But USC will be trashed this year.
USC has problems with defense. Let's just put it like that. But once again, that is a rivalry type of game. And for Notre Dame, at this point, Dave, they may be on a winning streak where they need this game to solidify one of the top 4 spots to make sure they get the bye. So I think that's where this game would come into it, where USC, I don't like you. I don't want you to have good things in your life, so I want to be the spoiler. I don't want you to get one of the top 4 seeds.
I don't want you to have fun.
Right.
He's right. No, you're right. And USC and defense, oil and water. I don't remember the last time they had a defense that was even acceptable.
Let's move over to this game here. October 5th, Michigan at Washington.
I have no interest in that.
Right.
No, I
Michigan's
think
a far superior team. I don't know what to say there.
Washington is their 3-year run probably over. So yeah, that's not going to be a great game whatsoever. Michigan, it's in Washington too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be a lot of happy Wolverine fans flying back for that game.
That one doesn't qualify.
It's a great stadium, and if you're a Wolverine fan, if you've never been there, I would suggest making the trip. I don't think they're
for
going to be
scenery.
They won't be playing Purple Rain at the end of that game.
Another one here, which will end up like a couple years ago, because I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Kenny, Georgia opened up with Clemson a couple years ago, neutral site. Well, they do it again. August 31st, Georgia-Clemson. Clemson's going to get murdered.
Dabo needs that game bad.
Will the game be sponsored by Uber or Lyft, Kenny? Will you have any players left on the team?
They'd better do something about that, man. 2 more reckless driving. Come on. Come on, Kirby.
It's almost like handing players hundreds of thousands of dollars and cars with 600 horsepower was a bad idea.
But
it's weird.
But
weird.
I think that Clemson, if Clemson wins that game, they get credibility back. And
if they
now,
just play close.
But I'm saying if they win, now all of a sudden we're talking about Clemson representing the ACC, and Dabo can say, "Hey, you guys wrote me off." He could send me a personal letter saying, "You wrote me off 3 years ago." I did.
That's right.
Now this game will probably matter. October 12th, Ole Miss versus LSU.
All in. That is a underrated rivalry.
Really?
They hate each other. Hate. And a party.
So
I would love to be at that game.
I mean, did anything cause this rivalry, or they just hate each other? Like, was there a big game, or?
I think the biggest one was the Billy Cannon game, where the coach came out on the field and tripped the player down the sidelines. It's just two teams that are neighbors that don't like each other a whole hell of a lot.
Okay.
And both fan bases love to party.
Yeah, it's at LSU.
Oh, boy.
So that's going to be a night game.
What day is that game?
October 12th.
Oh, boy. Oh,
Are
boy.
you going?
Oh, boy. No, can't go to that.
Why not?
Listen. If I have designs on going to the Breeders' Cup, that's going to be my one fall thing. I can't do it all. I have too much work during football.
You could do that and then hop a flight to Dallas for the Lions-Cowboys game.
All right. Carry on.
All right. Ohio State, Penn State, November 2nd.
Not interested. James Franklin's a bum and Drew Aller sucks. Next.
Where's the game?
I will have to find
Happy
out. 'cause
Valley.
It doesn't, yeah.
If the game is at Happy Valley,
is it a whiteout?
It's a better game. Because when they play in Columbus, it's no point of watching.
I'm tired of watching Penn State not move the football.
It's
I'm
in
sick
Ohio
of it.
State.
Then don't worry about it.
Back-to-back years they get him in Columbus?
Yeah.
Oh, forget it. That shouldn't be on the list. James Franklin should stay
I'm sorry.
home.
I'm sorry. It is Penn State. My bad. I was looking at the next game.
If
Sorry.
it's in Happy Valley,
Yeah.
then yes. Then it's a rivalry game. It becomes a whiteout. And that's the one time that Penn State and James Franklin rises up when they have to play the Ohio State.
And then this one here, since we just talked about Ole Miss, Georgia, Ole Miss.
Love.
November 9th.
Love. Credibility game for Lane Kiffin as well. Look, bottom line, you're not going undefeated in the SEC unless you're a super team. But if Lane Kiffin doesn't make the playoff with Ole Miss this year, that is a total failure, meaning he's got to get one of these other games. Whether it's LSU, whether it's he's got to have a signature Ole Miss win because as much as I hate what he says, he's right. Ole Miss is just good enough to not win the big game.
This
Ole
game's
Miss?
in Oxford.
Penn State.
Spider-Man meme. You're right, except one at least is fun to watch, but you're right. You're totally right.
And then finally on the list, of
Michigan
course.
State, FAU.
No.
No.
Michigan, Ohio State. November 30th. We'll have answers for Michigan.
Always.
No, I mean, it is because
It's Ryan Day's career in 60 minutes.
There it is.
Lose that game, he'll be outfitted for a box.
yeah, I mean, if he loses that game, then I think the edict comes down. Ryan, you got to win the national title or clean out your office.
What else is on that? Is there one that surprised you, David?
Surprised me?
Yeah.
Not really. Not really surprised here. Of course, they got Ohio State, Oregon on here. That's not a surprise.
Love.
Clemson, Florida State. That matters for the ACC.
Okay, let me stop here. Dabo loses to Georgia, but plays close. Do we agree? Cannot lose to FSU. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Has to win that game.
And I'm wondering, aren't they playing Notre Dame as well this year? So no, but you're right. Dabo can only afford to lose one game. That's it. If you lose early, man, you got to come back and because you made the stand. I'm not going to go get transfers.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this.
I
I'm
know.
not going to. So therefore, your fan base will turn on you and say, "Well, what are we doing here? You know, the game has progressed. You're sitting here peddling, cassette tapes out the back of your trunk, and we moved on to downloads."
That is your college football blitz.
All right, David, a few ticket texts. Mark, you know what? I want you to talk to Mark when he plugs in about the Clemson thing you just talked about. No better guy to talk about it than this guy. He spent time down there in the Palmetto.
I can definitely do that and talk about that overrated team called Florida.
Relax. I just want his opinion on this when we get to him. David, a few
Wow, Rico, already, man. Okay, John in Oxford says, last time Tigers fleeced another team, Cabrera from the Marlins for a flea bag grab basket.
A flea bag grab basket?
Yeah. Flaherty should be traded before his next start or after the Dodgers.
Look, I agree with you, but understand, it's very hard when a team has won 7 of 8 to have that level of cold calculus. I understand fans who call in and go, I don't want to. So your options are the following. It's what we've talked about. Your options are you go to Jack and you say, do you love being here or not? You try to get a deal done. You try to keep him. But the math is the math. It's going to take a minimum of 88 games to make the wild card. 69 games to go. That means you got to go 43 and 26.
Right.
Can you do that?
You can do that based on the stats saying you score 2 or more runs, which is why I said if you're going to do it, you got to be serious about it. You may need to add a bat and not rely on these young guys because they're riding a nice little streak right now. Colkey looks great. Can he maintain that? Don't think so. You got to bring in a bat.
Mark, before we get Tigers, we just did a college football blitz just to mix football. And it was the biggest games coming up this year. Nobody hates Clemson more than this guy.
Why?
He hates that.
Why?
We'll work out that stuff in therapy. Just leave it alone.
Okay.
He hates
No.
But what I've said is there were 2 games on the list, and it was Clemson against Georgia and Clemson against FSU. And I said, look, I'll chalk up the Georgia game as a loss, but they have to compete. But Dabo has to beat FSU or it all turns. You are way more qualified to talk about that.
And
is that right, wrong, or are you neutral on it?
Also consider that your ex-girlfriend is now the quarterback for Florida State.
Right.
And imagine the pain that is inflicted if you lose to them again. I was at the game last year. They lose in overtime because of all of the transfers that they bring in when Dabo won't take a single one of them. Only the service academies and Dabo doesn't take transfers.
The problem is I don't hate them. I just wrote them off and said, you know what? Their time has come. It's gone. He's a lot of hype. They don't win the big games anymore. And I was ahead of it, the curve. Now you're starting to see, and then he doubled down. I'm not going to hit the portal. I'm not going to do this. Okay, your fan base is not going to put up with this. If you're winning, you could be as quirky as you want. But when you lose, all that stuff gets held against you.
I'll tell you guys what. I support what Dabo stands for. I believe that he wants what's best for the kids and what's best for college football in a utopian society.
Yeah,
but the problem is this isn't that anymore.
I don't really believe half the stuff that he says. He kind of comes across as a snake oil salesman. Like Mr. Goody Two Shoes.
Oh.
I'm just here, let's go and do this. And no.
He hates them. No. All right, sorry. What's coming up next? I just needed to borrow you for that moment there. That's all. What do you got?
All right, so Hockeytown, what do you need to do? What do you need to achieve to keep that title? Okay, I believe the Dallas Cowboys are in danger of losing the title of America's team. What do you need to do to keep Hockeytown as a title? Plus, the trait for me that best explains Dan Campbell's success with the Detroit Lions, that and so much more. Mike, do you believe that Hockeytown is something that you inherit and it's yours forever?
No.
What do you think?
No, I
don't think that they're still Hockeytown.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna say this, and Kenny, if you want to take my head off, that's fine. I think hockey and basketball are very similar, that you only earn that when your team is really good. Everyone flocks to the game. Look, the Wings fan base is passionate, but let's face it, it's niche. If you want to be Hockeytown and the Spirit has the jersey on and the whole bit, you're gonna be good.
You have to be a playoff team at least. Yeah. They haven't, when that streak was happening, the playoff streak, they were Hockeytown. Since then, they don't deserve it.
And the Cowboys' America's team is only because Dallas tells you they're America's team. Nobody else believes that.
Well, and again, we're just supposed to digest that and swallow it because they tell us that they haven't made a conference championship game this millennium.
No.
Okay? America doesn't sign up to that crap for that mediocrity.
Nobody believes them but Dallas people. They will tell you, everybody. No, you're not. You haven't been relevant since Emmitt Smith.
Mike, you and I should not agree so much.
No,
I don't know what it is, why we agree so much on Scooble and Flaherty.
Hold on. The Scooble thing, listen. I don't understand how I've been painted into this deal where I'm not demanding he be traded.
Okay.
I would listen because I think being obtuse as a president of baseball operations is not a good way to go. I'm not giving him away unless it's something big. But man, if you say that in this town, boy, you get your block taken off. And I'm like, guys, no offense.
I think a lot of that happens because as the one guy that Kenny passed it along, we don't win trades. So,
well, hold on. But you're right. But that's why Scott Harris is here.
Right.
You have to show it's no different than radio. You get on the air, you're good or you're not.
Right. That's why I've heard certain radio hosts say if you don't get the best player out of the trade, you don't make the trade.
Often it's right, but baseball's a little different because you're generally
That's me. That would be me. And you have not, Mike, been the guy that's trade him at all costs. That has been Jeff Rieger.
Correct.
Who has been, you need to move him. But you have said you need to listen to offers. And my belief is that Tarek Skubal is a prerequisite to winning the World Series. How long do you want to be in a rebuild? Trade him. We'll next talk about the Tigers and relevancy in 2028. How close do you believe this team is,
But
Rico?
see, Mark, I think the thing is,
tell me what Chris Illich's checkbook looks like.
Skubal is so good that you could probably play 3 or 4 teams off of each other and keep raising the price on him. That you could call up the Orioles and then say, hey, New York, they're doing this. Hey, L.A., are you interested? Hey, Atlanta, I know you need a starting pitcher, and you could play those 4 teams off of each other. Those 4 teams have a system. Raid their system for that one pitcher, and it helps you jumpstart. It's about playing chess, not checkers.
I agree with both. I'm just telling you, they need something to jumpstart this thing. Not to where we're barely hanging on and we're one injury from, oh my God, Kerry Carpenter got hurt, we're dead. You could play the Yankees and Orioles off of each other, and I think you could do it for Flaherty. That is probably the realistic thing. I just don't see a world in which Scott Harris
I don't think it's
that
going to happen.
move.
No,
If it was Dave Dombrowski or something, maybe it's different. I don't know.
And you got him for another 2.5 years, guys.
But remember, this is the one thing I always say. If I don't
His
yell at
value
people.
goes down.
Yeah, like if you want to deal him now, fine. If you want to sign him, also fine. What I don't ever want to do is find out in the last year of that deal, he don't want to be here no more. Now what do I got?
Well, and that's why the Angels look like the most idiotic franchise ever when everyone knew Ohtani was leaving and they still did nothing. At that point, you have to trade him. You have to trade him. But I don't think that time is today.
But at that point, you're not getting anything because everybody knows he doesn't want to be there, so we're going to offer you this can of beans.
It sure would be helpful, wouldn't it, if Skubal was actually telling us he'd like to be here, but he's not saying anything of the
He had
sort.
an opportunity, and he said,
You know what
talk
else
to my
would be
agent.
helpful? Work with me. White Langford. All right, I got to go. I had to. I'm sorry. Rico World Tour. Go enjoy yourself.
No.
Mark Ryan.
No.
Oh, yeah.
The Valenti
Not
tour.
a world. No. It's a one day. But
my world tour got halted and said,
Oh,
no.
Stop.
No.
What's going on?
No.
Nothing.
What's
Nothing.
happening?
Nothing.
What?
No. Stop it. Mark Ryan is next. Dabo sucks. We'll talk to everybody later.